Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur blog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It's a little bit fresher this morning. The feels like temperature is 3 degrees. There's quite a wind chill factor today, which is why I'm back in winter running gear. But it is Tuesday tactics today. We're going to be talking about Asana rules. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, Asana rules might sound a little bit boring, but it's not. Well, not to me anyway. It's if you're familiar with the project management software Asana, you'll probably hear, if you've been listening to my vlog for a few months now, you'll notice I talk about Asana quite a lot. Well, it is my project management software of choice. It's the software that I run my teams from. It's my operations hub of my business and businesses. So anybody who works with me has an Asana account. All of their work is stored neatly in Asana relating to different projects we're working on, and it is single-handedly the most important piece of software in my kind of enterprise. And there's a automation tool to it. Now you have to pay for this. To get access to it, it's going to cost you about £50 a month. So it's not a small investment when you're talking 600 quid over the course of a year. But if you're going to run a business or multiple businesses, then it's absolutely essential to have a decent project management software package around you. And Asana, in my opinion, is up there with the best. Now, I use Asana not just to manage my teams, but I also use Asana to manage different projects and pipelines. Now, Asana is not a pipeline CRM. It can be used to that, and that's the beauty of Asana, is its flexibility of how you set it up. And there's some really cool pipelines I've created in Asana. I don't use it as a CRM. Some people do, and some people use it to great effect as a CRM or customer relationship management system. I don't, but I do use it for my pipelines, especially when it's task-based activity associated with pipelines. And Asana rules are the automation piece within that, okay, which is huge, which is amazing. I mean, let's look at it from a kind of a manual perspective to begin with. If I was going to do, let's use kind of simple terms like if this, then that. That's a common phrase now in the automation world. If you do something, it triggers something else to happen. That's basically what that phrase is saying. And Asana rules is automation. So if in this example, I have a pipeline, I don't know, of I am going to, I've got a pipeline of a really simple one, like new task, in progress, completed, okay? They're the three stages, really, really simple. In normal circumstances, okay, if I add a task to that pipeline, it will drop into the new task category when I add it. Okay, now if I update it, or I start working on it, I could put an update on that task, but I would then have to manually move it to the in progress section. And similarly, if I completed that task, I'd then have to move it to the completed section. So you notice that there's, obviously I'm updating the task anyway, morning, but I'm then having to manually move them between stages. And what will happen, and you get this is a really simple pipeline, but if you have a 20-step pipeline and you've got all of those nuances of physically moving tasks from one stage to another, that takes A, a lot of time, and B, it's open to interpretation by the user, which means that human error can kind of fall into the mix. And if human error happens, then the pipeline data or the accuracies that you're pulling from the pipeline kind of fall by the wayside. So having the automation side of it, I can set some really simple rules up so that if somebody starts working on a job, they can change the status, they can put an update on the task, and that can automatically trigger that task moves to the in progress section. And when it completes, if I just tick it off, I can create a rule so as soon as you complete a task, it automatically moves it to the completed section. So straight away you've taken out it might not seem like a lot, but you times these little nuances by hundreds of different pipeline stages through multiple different pipelines, that's a pretty big deal, a pretty big time saving. But the big benefit is the efficiency that it creates, because you're taking out the increased likelihood of human error. If you have human error, your pipeline's inaccurate, you could miss out on that next deal, you could miss out on that next sale because somebody's missed the activity. You can do a lot more complexities with Asana rules as well. You can set loads of different triggers. So a trigger could be a due date set, it could be a status update, it could be a comment added, it could be, you know, adding somebody to a task, it could be moving a task to a new project. There's a huge raft of triggers that you can set, and then there's a huge raft of actions that you can use. So you can fully customize this, and you can create some really cool multi-step rules. So I have rules for different stages of the pipeline that are pretty complex, and because we use Slack as well, you can also use the Slack integration with Asana, so that you can actually use the automation to send templated messages to key personnel within Slack to notify them when they need to check on something in the pipeline, which is amazing, because I've always said the one thing that Asana lacks is real instant notifications. Now, that is a good thing, and I would not want Asana to add real-time notifications, because that would then turn what is project management software into also almost like another messaging app. But when you integrate with something like Slack, and the ability to kind of set the automations, the notifications up, so that you only get the notifications you want to receive, then you can create an instant notification arm of Asana without it becoming kind of super overwhelming. So that's hopefully given you a really good kind of overview. Now I use Asana rules in all the pipelines. So I have pipelines for all my social media content. So there's 5 different projects where there's probably on average 5 to 10 different stages on each project. So you're probably looking at somewhere between 40 and 50 stages in my social media content repurposing process. There are a lot more, but we've simplified the actual stages down so that some of them are included in the same step. But you think of all the automation rules that have gone into that, which means that somebody don't have to physically move things and vet things. It's almost like an automatic moderation to ensure that if somebody's done something, the update happens without them having to think, and that's really, really important. So I use it in my social media content repurposing process. We'll use all the Asana rules in the property business. So in the property management software, it will notify people when, you know, CP12s or gas safety certificates are due, electrical inspections are due. It notifies people, you know, using Slack integration. We have pipeline management for tenant onboarding, all this type of stuff that's all done with automation rules attached. I also use it massively in the deal sourcing business. So when we're kind of creating, you know, we're sourcing properties, when we're negotiating with agents right the way through to selling them, right the way to the refurbishments, that's probably getting on for 100 steps. Automation's linked to all of that as well, so that the different people are assigned at the right times, the deadlines, the due dates, everything's all logged, and as much of it as possible is taken into kind of the automation world. So I use it hugely in my business, and I love it, because every time I put a new rule in, it's like a time saving for either myself or a team member, and it's also potentially minimizing the risk of mistakes. So hugely powerful. Now, as with anything, it can be take a bit of time getting your head around things, but just by playing around with it, I mean, Asana rules are like as easy to use, if not easier. Well, it is easier to use than Zapier. If you've used Zapier before, Asana rules are super easy. It's just creating kind of a flow of what happens if this happens, setting the criteria. It's all quite logically based, really easy to use, and it might be overwhelming to start with, but I stress that if you want to start taking out inefficiencies of your business, you're using Asana, and you have processes and systems in your business that are kind of pipeline based or sequential, then Asana rules is something you should definitely need to be checking out, because it is absolutely game changing, especially for a geek like myself. And I'm working on pipelines all the time. The other one I use every single day for me and my team is my process for managing teams collaboratively around projects. So I trust my guys, right? everyone in my team has a dashboard where all of their work is assigned. Now I could get reporting on their dashboards of their workload, what they've completed, what they haven't, etc. But to me, the most important thing for me driving the business forward is to accomplish the projects that I've set myself, the 3 to 7 projects I've set myself. My initial focus is a project for the quarter, but I've got in the back of my mind the projects for the year. And what I'm doing with project-based collaboration is everybody who's working on each project, there's a separate project in Asana that was a project, and just simple automation, like every time there's an update on that project I get a Slack notification, so I'm fully up to speed with where we're up to with the project. That's really important because that's in line with achieving the company goals. If I assign anything out to people from the project, it automatically appears on their dashboards without the need to kind of think about that. I just assign it to whoever needs to do it, and it's on their dashboard so that they've got their workplace where they can kind of work from, and there's no need to worry about that. But it's still on the project as well, so you're then getting the update on the tasks that are super high level for you or important to you in terms of it's geared around the project that you're working on. But if I wanted to, I could get reporting on the team members' dashboards as well, their personal workspaces. But I normally do that for new starters after a few months, and I kind of get an understanding of their productivity levels and capacity level. If there's no issues, I turn those notifications off and switch them onto project-based ones. That way, I'm always in the sync with my team of people on different projects on how far progressed that project is. And that's huge. It just means that I can manage my teams without having to micromanage them, trust them, assign stuff to be done, and I can see its progress without having to chase for status updates and things all the time. By using Slack and Asana having personal dashboards for people's personal workload, project-based projects in Asana for project-based workload, and setting up your notifications in Slack so you get updates on what's going on, only on the stuff that you need to see updates on. Hugely powerful, hugely powerful. So that's the one I use probably the most. I use it every single day, but all of the rules I've set up are used extremely frequently throughout the different stages of each business. So hopefully that's given you a kind of a high level overview of the potential of Asana rules here. That I could go into great detail, but as with always stuff like this, it's quite difficult to talk it through, face to face on a video, let alone talking it through whilst running, because it is quite technical. Sometimes it's a lot easier to screen share and record a video on that basis. I may do that in the future if people find it useful. But as always, if you've got any questions and stuff, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll do a separate vlog episode. But also, I've lost my train of thought. I was going to say something really, really useful there, and I've completely forgot my train of thought. Oh well, it can't be that important if I've forgotten it. But if this is irrelevant to you, that's no drama. Just unfollow me. You don't have to unfriend me. Unfollowing me will stop this cluttering up your news feeds with irrelevant information. But do check out the Runpreneur YouTube channel. We're about to launch a podcast and vlog as well, so that you can watch, hear, or read the content. So you've got it in all the formats, because I do a different topic on each day of the week. And just because today's topic may be irrelevant to you, tomorrow or the day after may be very relevant. So do check out the different channels as I try and catalogue everything by topic, so it's nice and easy to navigate around. So all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve or release mechanism to manage and control the daily, weekly pressures in the form of stress, and to release them so that you keep clarity, you keep in control, and you keep moving forwards. The only analogy I can use is like pressure when it builds in a pipe. If you don't have that release valve and process it, and in my case that's what running and vlogging does for me, then those stresses build up in the form of pressure, like pressure in a pipe, and then before you know it, the pressure's got to a level where it turns into overwhelm, where you start kind of freezing and panicking about things, and before you know it, you're into the realms of anxiety, where anxiety attacks and mental health related challenges occur. Just going past someone, excuse me. Morning. And I've been there. I've lost businesses because of my inability to manage these emotions. I've lost business partners and I've almost been bankrupt because of this. So I wouldn't wish it upon my kind of worst enemy. Wouldn't. So, which is why this vlog was kind of formed, trying to help people. So my pledge to you is that if you do need help and you are struggling with these emotions that everybody in the world experiences, by the way, so do people think that people are robots. We're not. Yeah, and often people, entrepreneurs in particular, struggle with entrepreneurial pride. They're too proud to ask for help or reach out, and sometimes that can certainly be the case with nearest and dearest. But my pledge to you is that if you are one of these people struggling with this, drop me a message. Okay, sometimes it's easier asking for help from a stranger than someone nearest and dearest. And look, there's no catch here. There's no sale or anything attached with this. Like, we'll just jump on a call. I'll give you some advice and feedback on stuff that I've done in my life and over the past 8 months that have made a significant difference to my life that are hopefully transferable to yours. And to kind of back that up, it's no coincidence since I've been doing this, I've made more progress in the last 8 months than I have in the previous 4 years. So hopefully there's a pretty substantial amount of evidence there that suggests this stuff works. So reach out, help is there. It's not as difficult to find as you may think, and it's often free if you're prepared to ask for it. So that's it for me today. All that's left to say is that if you like this episode, please check out the YouTube channel and give this episode a like, a comment and a subscribe. If you want to see similar content, please check out the playlist link whereby you can see content related by topic. And I'll leave you with, as always, with stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.